Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Daily Dose. It's Wrap Up Friday on another gray and rainy day, but good for the farmers. And as you like to say, we don't have to shovel it. So there's that. Let's get right to it. First question from Monday. When you're playing cards, sometimes you get bad ones and want to turn them in. The same is true in life. We are given a universal hand of cards, and not all of them are good. Which ones would you trade out if you could? And more to the point, why? What would you trade out, Dr. Mary?
I hate being asked that question.
Why?
Because when you sit down and think about it, ultimately everything that's happened and everything to me that was crap has actually wound up with me sitting here today next to you, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what I would, I've talked a lot about in my own work, these Bush Fellowships. I would certainly have given myself a Bush Fellowship. Would not have just been a finalist twice. I would have gotten one. I would change that. But if that's the bad of my life, that's not too bad.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
I read, don't hear memes, you read memes. I read a very good one, and it's just made me think a lot. And it said, the question on the meme was, what's it like to be 51? And the answer is, just like being 18, only you've got 33 years of experience.
That makes me think of our nephew Mason when we called him on his 10th birthday in January. And I said, Mace, how does it feel to be 10? And he said, honestly, no different than 9. What a great answer. What a great answer. You're right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go back to 18 for a gabillion dollars.
No, thank you.
I wouldn't mind having my 18-year-old skin, but beyond that...
There's a couple of people I might like to apologise to, but apart from that...
Yeah, that may be true. All right, next question. If you have a whole hand of 2s and 3s, what can you do to make the best of those? How can you find gratitude for or make the best of a seemingly tough hand? I feel like Daily Dose is a perfect example of that. Yeah. We took a really tough situation and we decided not to just bemoan it. We're using it to try to make a difference, both for ourselves and for anybody else who's paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all have moments of 2s and 3s. Some people seem to only get 2s and 3s. And yet often those people are happier than the jacks, queens, kings, and aces people. So a lot of it is how you choose to look at it and what you choose to do with it.
It's all to do with, your perception in the world. If it's off kilter, so are you.
Look at you foreshadowing question number 3. How is your
professional? My God.
How is your perception defining your reality? Where do you need to rewrite your story? Simply by changing your perception.
There you go.
Where are you telling yourself that you're a victim or that you can't do something or that things have passed you by? That mostly is just perception. There are certainly things that are no longer possible. I can not, I can never, here's something very simple. I can never be part of a 35 under 35 women's leadership program because I'm over 35. So I can bemoan that, or I can say, all right, I didn't get to do it, whatever. But most things in life, you can still go do.
Yeah.
Look at the incredible people in the world who don't let age or ability or finances define them, or more importantly, stop them. You can decide how you want to wake up today and what you're going to do with the day. So change your perception. If you woke up today and thought, oh, it's another dreary day, change your perception. First of all, you're up. Some people went to bed last night and didn't wake up. Second of all, rain is good. We need rain. Third of all, you live in a fabulous place. So wake up and change your perception. I'm going to work on that with spin, Dr. Mary.
Steady, girl. I think it's important to set small goals so you get momentum.
I'm going to probably work on that for spin. Next question. Mike Roderick's email says, people will do things the way they've always done them unless there's a really good reason to do them differently. Where do you need to reflect on this in your own life and make changes? But we've always done it this way. If COVID has taught us nothing, it's that but we've always done it this way actually is pretty irrelevant. But we always get together for Thanksgiving. And did you survive not getting together with your family for Thanksgiving this year?
Well, ours was nice. We got to, we Zoomed with your entire family.
We did.
It was fun.
There are
And we
lots
didn't
of ways
overeat.
to look at things.
And
Oh,
there were
that's
no
also true.
leftovers in our sunroom that we were eating 5 days later. So
There were a few, but not many.
Let's not dwell.
No. But again, we've always done it this way because we've always been able to do it this way. And some things make sense to keep doing them the way they are. But other things can and should change, and you can control that. You can just decide, this is a fine thing, and it's no longer serving me. I'm going to let it go, or I'm going to shift it, or I'm going to move it on, or I'm going to stop it altogether. That's fine. You can stop things altogether, and probably the world will not stop spinning. Next question. Justin Meidinger joined us for Guest Thursday. Thank you, Justin.
Yes, it was fantastic to talk to you.
And he got really vulnerable about the fact that he's working right now to manage his alcohol
that was
consumption.
an incredibly brave conversation to have. I'm very impressed with,
I was
with
too.
what Justin did there.
Are there areas of your life that you need to be willing to get that honest about? And are you willing and or able to do that? Justin lives in a small town. He is the executive director of a local nonprofit. He has his own business. He and his partner own some rental property. That's a small community, and Justin opted to be really honest. That's not easy to do. Most of us would much rather put on the gloss and hide the decay, for lack of a better word. My mom often will write on these posts, how many of you would want to sit live 5 days a week and have someone next to you say, remember when you were an alcoholic? Or, fill in the blank. It's true. You have made the same decision. You really peeled back the gloss.
Well, I mean, hats off to Justin. Justin's being that honest. I was in rehab, 3 weeks before I realised I wasn't being honest still.
Yeah. So figure out where you need to be that honest, and you don't have to live stream about it. You don't have to take it public, but you better be that honest with yourself.
Yes, that's the main thing.
Yeah,
Sorry,
because that's
yes.
fine. But what you and I both have acknowledged is that we were not actually very honest with ourselves in those years we were trying to figure these things out. And I don't know that we could have been.
Well, you were trying to say all the right things. I just wasn't listening.
But I don't know that I was being very honest with myself either. Otherwise, how could I have been surprised that you were an alcoholic?
Actually, yeah.
This isn't about, well, you think you had a bad thing about me. I'm just saying, we all do it. We all mask the stuff that makes us uncomfortable or angry or ashamed.
I mean, this goes back to the first couple of questions. I am an alcoholic enjoying sobriety, but who would want that wished upon them? And you certainly wouldn't wish it on anyone else. But I think I'm a nicer human being for living through it.
It's very true. Last question. If you have areas of your life where the tires fall off, you're likely to do better if you stop being abstract about making a change and instead create a concrete plan. Make a list of areas that you need to do more than talk about changing and actually make the plan to make the change. So, a perfect example is I'm going to exercise more. Okay, I'm going to exercise more. When? How? With whom? What are you going to do? Do you have to buy new tennis shoes? Do you have to join a gym? Do you have to find an accountability buddy? Do you have to sign up for an online program? I'm gonna fill in the blank doesn't get you anywhere. So where do you need to move from? Yeah, I'm going to work on this, which was your stock answer.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right, Dana. I am drinking too much. I'm going to work on that. Guess what? That never happened. And I think you sometimes had good intentions to try.
I did, actually. I think I did, anyway.
Yeah. We all tend, maybe not all, maybe there are some superhumans out there who just think about something, plan it, execute it, and it's done. Good for you. I'm not that person. I have to have a plan. And it doesn't have to be a crazy concrete plan for me, but I have to have a plan. Otherwise, it's just, yeah, I'm going to work on that. And then you wonder why you're not successful. So I don't want this to sound like I'm criticizing Justin, because I called him out on it a little bit yesterday, and B, this isn't about Justin, this is about all of us. But get a plan. You have to plan to make change. Change doesn't just happen unless you nearly bleed to death and your body says, fine, you don't want a plan? We'll plan for you. Clearly, you had more to do and your body must have known it. But that's not making a plan. That's called an emergency. If you end up in the emergency room, that's not because you made a plan.
Yeah, that's down there way below Plan F.
Yes.
I think.
Yes. So plan your change. You owe that to yourself. You owe it to the people around you. You owe it to the world to plan the change you're going to make. I see that John Z is on. So John Z is an amazing gardener, like the kind of gardener that even in the dead of winter when there's nothing in his backyard, I envy his yard. Every spring, John, I plan to become a good gardener. This is the year I'm going to garden.
Hey, we have a pollination garden now. Don't sell yourself short.
Every year I fail. And you know why? Because I don't put together a plan. I could never be a gardener like John. I don't believe. But I could garden. I mean, basic gardening is not impossible. But if you don't put together a plan, then pretty soon you've got all the weeds and it's too late to plant. And then you forgot to water and you didn't flick the bugs off. I mean, we do plant some stuff. But I would like to be a real gardener. Clearly not. Or I would plan for it. So it doesn't need to be the kinds of things that are life and death. It can be something small. Although gardening the way John does is not small. So John, don't hear me dismissing your
I actually miss looking
unbelievable
around your
backyard.
garden.
I
So
do too.
hopefully we'll see it again when it's safe to be around each other.
The reality is you got a plan. Everybody's got to make a plan. And you can adapt the plan and adjust the plan. You can even throw out the plan. But you're not going anywhere. My stepdad, my beloved, intelligent, genius stepdad used to say to me, Dee, you got to get off the shore and into a boat. Because right now you're standing on the shore and all the boats are going past and you're going nowhere. Get in a boat, and when you're in the boat, you can hop to the next boat, to the next boat, to the next boat while you're moving. But you're not going anywhere standing on the shore. So figure out what's the first boat you need to get in. Oh my gosh, I love that analogy. I've never met anybody who says, yeah, that doesn't work for me. Yes, it does, because you know exactly what that looks like. You know exactly what it looks like to stand and watch the water go by, and you know exactly what it feels like to be in the boat moving down the water. Get in the boat. Anything else? You're out of camera, Dr. May. Have an excellent
I
weekend.
planned that, actually.
Did you? Mm-hmm. We'll see you on Monday.
See you Monday. Have
Bye.
a great weekend.